Hi, Soap. It's so quiet.
Oh, hello. Can you hear me now?
Hi.
Oh, there we go. Nice. I had to change my input or something, so I didn't know whether it was working.
Yeah, no, I changed
Yeah.
to using like wireless earbuds, and I commented the game earlier today, and it took me like 30 minutes to figure out I had the wrong output device.
Happens to all of us.
Oh yeah, also apparently we're live, by the way.
All right. Good to know.
Hello,
Okay,
Prasad.
so we've
Oh, bias has 4 players. Hope you can take it out of it. We've had too much trouble today.
I do think ACME could win the 5v4. It's a
Yeah.
pretty safe prediction.
I think that is a very safe prediction. Sorry, get my mic set up here.
How are you doing, Prasad?
I'm pretty good, man. How are you doing?
I'm great.
Hoping for no more forfeits or 4v5s today. We've had a wild one. It's been a crazy day for matchups. Saw some pretty good stuff earlier.
The versus UNSC was crazy earlier today.
The versus UNSC, I mean, it's my favorite match of the season for sure. I mean, also my least favorite in some ways. Having coached them, you don't like to watch them lose anything. But I mean, in the end, they pulled it off with 3 seconds. Just a crazy game. I mean, you got to give all the credit in the world to UNSC for what they did. Really impressive stuff. The bunch of crazy killers, but UNSC showed a lot of discipline, really good understanding of the game, and they've got some good killers too. Like, I mean, M Dubs was just going nuts today in both of his games, and he really showed some impressive stuff.
Oh, alright, Bias hits their 5th. Okay. Cool. So they're doing Launchpad Waterway, which is, I feel like everybody does that order. Very few quarries.
Oh, they're doing Waterway first. That's interesting.
They are?
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I thought you said that. Just
No. They're doing Launchpad first.
Cool. All right, cool. Launchpad's good map. Everyone likes to see that. X626. Been seeing him Smurf was like Drago or something like that. Draken, something, some of that playing in tour mode in pubs as a as a Smurf, kind of funny. But Whoopsie's here. That's awesome. Engine, former The member actually, and then Colton, good player. Firehorse. Firehorse been killing it with those graphics. I don't know if you guys seen some of that stuff that Dre was putting up on stream. I think he was the one who came up with that. Pretty neat stuff. And then another end, Benji. I've been saying it all season, man. Benji's cracked. Destroyer's cracked. Mango's cracked. And MTL is a recent addition to the team, and they added him for a reason. Dude's got insane sprint strafing. And then Stun, good player. Hides in corners a little too much for my liking, but everyone's got their own personal styles, and that's his. So I'm interested to see how this plays out. I mean, both these teams are pretty solid, pretty good teams, but I'm going to be rooting for Bias just because I'm a little bit biased as their coach.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think Acme might take the payload and Bias would take the domination, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see, man. Like, this gonna be a good matchup regardless.
All the clan name teams have such a good domination strat, and I still don't get it.
No. Actually, I'll spoil the secret right here on stream. So actually, believe it or not, there's not like a heck of a lot you can do to strategize for domination. It's basically just send out your wildest killers and be killing. Like I hate to just say that, but that's basically the truth of it. I mean, there's not like a heck of a lot of strategic, differences that you'll see between teams. It's mostly just comes down to who can outkill. But on payload, it's extremely strategic, and by all means, it's like positioning and everything else dictates everything. So we'll see a lot of that in this game, I'm sure. And Bias getting cleared out really fast. They're all dead, all of them. So oh, actually, I'm looking at the wrong thing. I mean, they're
Acme's doing a great job of playing defensively right now. They're not.
They are. I mean, Colton right here getting just kill after kill. He's low though. I wouldn't have poked my head out in that fashion. I would have gotten health first, just because it's really hard to get back to this area alive. You want to preserve your life as much as possible. Now Bias double stacking cart, making up for some lost time. They've finally got the clear, and they're gonna push out and try to like spawn lock them a little bit. This is where getting those 1v1s really makes a difference. Stun doing an amazing job of dancing, getting the kill, now going for health. which I do recommend in these scenarios. I mean, sometimes you do want to trade your life; it makes more sense. But in this specific situation, it's better to just go get the health and come back, because otherwise he was probably just going to die in the next hit.
It was a really good rotation by Bias. Stun took out one, was low.
Yep. I mean, Bias has definitely been stepping up. I mean, of all the CLNM teams right now, they're the newest, the least experienced, but they have some crazy good killers, and we've been really working, like focusing our coaching on them recently, and they're showing massive improvements. You saw how they did against Arc, just amazing shit, and then we saw them, do extremely well against Onyx, like crazy. I mean, they took them to control point, and it was like a 20-second gap or something like that. I mean, just ridiculous performances. So, I mean, I'm pretty proud of everything they've been able to accomplish, and I do genuinely think they're going to win. I mean, look, they're 4 minutes, 26 seconds already at the bend. They're basically, a 30-second lead on where they need to be just to do well, to get to the finish. So, I mean, this is crazy. And then, look, it's not even like, I mean, they had full control of the area until just now. So they finally got to stop. But look, Payload's moving again. Mango's on it. He does get probably Peekers killed here, if I had to guess. And, oh no, he has a sliver of health left. Wow. Bias is full control. I mean, they're rolling through here. 4 minutes is just absolutely insane.
Actually, willing to start taking up position that they want to start eating time. It's not like
if I'm ACME, I'm just going to set up back further. I mean, it really makes no sense for me to push into this. They had so many people here just controlling the sight lines and taking the area by storm. But finally, ACME gets a little bit of control. I mean, Engine's won, though. So Stun's going to pop his head out. Yep, just like that, just for a split second, get the kill, get a second kill. Now they've got control of the area again, and Bias is going to be able to push in and get control. I mean, they're going to have to get some rockets up. That's the only thing that's going to stop this barrage of gunfire from taking them out of the area.
Good shot.
Good job there. Good job there. Colton doing a great job pushing up. You want to take back some space that you lost. We finally start seeing rockets. Absolutely necessary at this point in the map. And then we're going to see what Bias does to respond. Like I said, they are a fairly new team, but they've been trained explicitly on taking out any explosive users. They know that that's the #1 goal, and we'll see if they can accomplish that. Yeah, meanwhile, Payload is still moving. I mean, like Colton's running away right now, but the cart was moving. Yeah, you got to pay attention to that type of thing.
They have one on the right now.
Yeah, I mean, and Colton did a good job taking him out. He's really low. He's going to push up here and try to kill before he dies.
Yeah, I mean,
oh, and there we go. They got checkpoint. So, yeah, I mean, just incredible time with 8 minutes and 45 seconds left. This is about as good as HHI was doing against Sky 4v5. And HHI is an established team, and Sky's a brand new team, and they had 4 players. So, Bias is just destroying right now. This is incredibly. I mean, look at this. Their killers have like 10 kills, and yet they're already past checkpoint. I mean, think about that for a second. It takes significantly more kills to accomplish checkpoint in a typical match. This is showing a lot of maturity out of a very young team. They're really taking a lot of lessons to heart, and I think that's one of the advantages of having a big brother or a system of teams that you can have to rely on to give you these types of strats and fast forward your progress in the game. I mean, at some point every team figures out basic strategies like this, but these guys have had a big assistance, and right now they're just doing a phenomenal job. 8 minutes at the bottom of this hill is crazy time. I'm curious how ACME responds. ACME's got a good group of players there, but right now, every single player on ACME is negative, and that's just crazy. That's crazy because they're such strong players, and they're on defense. Ooh, that's taking a real L there, killing himself. But I mean, this is an impressive performance by Bias. I'm sure they're. Oh wow! Look at that headshot by Mango. His aim is just insane. Mango is one of the best aim players that people don't really talk about yet, but he's going to be talked about. He will be talked about soon. I mean, he's the captain of this team. He's the shot caller, and right now he's the cart bitch. Excuse my language, but that's what we call it in our system of teams. And he's doing a phenomenal job. I mean, they're rolling 7 minutes here. This is insane. This is absolutely bonkers. And not only is this 7 minutes, but they still have full control. That's the wild part. And look, 2 players. It takes 2 players to finally take Mango off the cart. But now they do have a hold. So let's see if ACME can. Oh, whoopsie, getting an insane kill with that shock. Nice work. See if she can keep it up. Oh, Mango, man. I'm telling you, Mango is just cracked. He's a great player. But they do have a hold here. This is good. ACME definitely needed to get some control right now. This is when they can do it. And X626 is positive, the first player on the team to accomplish that so far. I mean, this has just been an insane performance by Bias. And this is great. Firehorse staying back here with these rockets. Maybe be able to stop any progress they've got going on from back here in safety. Oh, but look, again, that's some maturity by Benji, understanding his task there. He had to go take those rockets out, and he did it. And now they've basically lost their hold. So, I mean, I do see some red robots in the area. If they can take this fight and win this one, that'll be a big boost. But nope, MTL there to take care of things. And Firehorse in the corner takes out the cart, which is great. And now they're moving again. I mean, that's just, you see it. It's a constant stream of players, but it's not trickling. What's happening is they have full control, and they just keep it going. You know, this is tough stuff to deal with. Mango grabbing a shotgun and a shield, but it works for a little bit. But you know what? Bias has actually slowed them down a full minute now. I'm sorry, ACME has slowed Bias down a full minute now, which is great. Stun using a stun corner. That's what we call him in our teams, because Stun does love his corners. But he does get a kill out of it, which is great. Headshot. And he's going to protect the back end of this cart a little bit. Gets taken out by Firehorse, but the cart's still rolling, and we're almost here to these pipes here, this little archway, which is a very significant portion of the map. Once you get past here, things start getting a little bit slowed, but I mean, realistically, you know, the more mature teams will stop a team right here and take full control for a few minutes. So the fact that they're almost all the way through it is pretty massive, and they have 5 minutes left. I mean, it's not a given that they're going to finish this push. It's not 100% guaranteed that they're going to get there, because at this point, it takes them about 4 to 5 seconds to get out of spawn and take control and kill this cart. But that said, 5 minutes is kind of a lifetime when you consider that they only got 6 minutes by hitting checkpoint. So it's almost like equivalent to if they had made it here in 1 minute from checkpoint, which is just crazy, bonkers. But yeah, I see some good positioning by ACME. They are going to do a pretty good job of controlling that payload, and it's going to be taken out right now. Right now, Bias's task, and this is where, you know, maturity can take a play, is do they group up, and do they group up appropriately? A lot of teams have started grouping up, but they still haven't quite figured out what to do with the group up. And that's like the next phase of it. I mean, grouping up is obviously important. You can turn a 1v2 into a 2v2 or a 4v2 or whatever, depending on how your team configures your group ups. But it's really the what do you do with a group up? There's like a full method that needs to be accomplished, you know, once you've actually grouped up, and it's not just everybody rush in, but some teams do go with that, and it works. Right now, the way that Bias is just out killing everyone, it's not unfeasible that they could actually just go ahead and push this thing 100% with 4 minutes left with just trickling. I mean, that's literally possible, because they've just been straight killing it. Stun playing very cautiously right now. He's going to grab the dash and see if he pushes in for the actual push. Oh, trading there. But that trade's going to favor ACME, as it's going to take Stun quite a bit longer to get back. As you can see, X626 is already right near the payload and ready to defend it. And Stun's going to take quite a while to get all the way back here. Something to consider when you're making risky maneuvers right at the end of this map, is that a trade is a favor to the enemy. Good kill by Destroyer, though. He's waiting for that dash pickup, and he's just going to rush that card, I'm assuming. Nice kill there. He's trying to look for a second. Now he's getting some movement, good movement. If his team can push in and take advantage of some of the kills they did. Oh, and now you've got the shield facing the spawn. That's a big advantage there, a big help once you finally made that corner. So with 2 minutes and 54 seconds left, 92% of their push, it's definitely possible they're just going to finish this thing with pure trickling. I mean, it really doesn't take super coordinated work at this point, just because they're so far ahead and they've just been killing it. On at 37 kills, just got taken out. But he's leading the map right now by a good margin. And you can see that MTL getting on cart, but he does move it forward about a foot. And Benji there to follow up. Mango there with a shield and a shock. These guys are coming in with some interesting loadouts, and it's kind of working. I mean, they just pushed it another percent. 2 minutes left. Got 7% left to finish this whole entire push. It seems very likely that they will. 2 minutes is pretty much where we see good teams hit that archway a lot of the time against other good teams. So this is a phenomenal performance. Bias is certainly showing that they belong back in the Dasher tier. This is going to be really hard for ACME to replicate. I mean, it's possible, but it's going to be difficult. And we do see at the end of this that the KDs are starting to flip just a little bit. Colton out 31 and 23, very impressive. And then X626 at 35 and 29. And I believe they're the ones mostly playing the disruption role, so that's working out really well for them. We can see right here, this is not a group up. This is just they all kind of entered at the same time and died around the same time, and so that kind of creates that natural flow. Once teams get into that, like, that synced up kind of phase, they don't really need to group up. They're just kind of constantly pushing in together. It's pretty nice when you get that all going. So sneaking behind, getting a kill, but immediately getting taken out, unable to take advantage of the kill. And actually, they did push 2%, but that was someone else we were following. A different spectator at the time when they got that done. But I mean, a minute left, and in the last minute they've only moved to 3%. So I mean, it's definitely possible ACME stops them from hitting 100, but I mean, getting to 95% is a really, really tall task. It's asking a lot. And this is a biased team that almost held ARC to checkpoint. I mean, it was like super close. They almost pre-checkpointed ARC, so I mean, you kind of expect their defense to be pretty solid. This is a tough task. And a lot of times when we predict, like, how are people going to do on domination, we just kind of look at KD, because like I said earlier, domination's mostly geared towards just, out killing the other enemy. And when you look at this payload and you see right now that Bias is leading in the KDs by a decent margin. And here we go, we're getting a really great push here, 97, 98%. Everyone's fighting, 99%, 100%, and there it is. Bias does it with 7 seconds to spare. Very, very close, but they pushed it all the way. So now it's going to be up to ACME to push it 100% and have more than 7 seconds left on the clock, and that's a tall task. That's not an easy thing to do.
Prepare to start.
Didn't score there. 7 seconds left on the clock. Mango set up with shocks.
3, 2, 1, go. First elimination.
Nice kill by Destroyer. Another nice kill. Jeez, he's just doing an excellent job with these rockets. He has stayed alive for an impressive amount of time. Getting taken out there is rough.
This is some suffocating defense to watch. Far out.
Yeah, no, it seems like ACME can't even like touch the cart.
Yeah, Bias is just really coordinated and on point in their defense on this map, eh? For a new team, they definitely look really well trained and coordinated. A lot of the new teams have actually looked like that this season. Been quite impressed with how quickly a lot of these teams have been able to really, stick it to the older teams. Again,
Yeah,
what
I
people
mean,
say has,
they kind of came in during the launch because I believe the game launched right after rosters locked for season 2. So a lot of people have just been grinding in pubs for about 3 months.
yeah, true.
They're here to prove their worth.
Yeah, well, I don't know, Loop. I'm looking forward to seeing Loop this weekend. They, had a few really great games, and now they've bumped up to having to face a couple of the best teams in the league. So, nice welcome to the league moment for them. So, look forward to seeing how they do.
Yeah, it feels like it's destiny for every new team to get into Dasher and then immediately get thrown back into like bottom sprinter. Is still up. It's just Discord that crashed for some reason.
Okay. Alright, better watch on YouTube somehow.
We'll just be commentating with
Now.
an extreme delay.
With a massive delay.
Like a minute delay.
We can just be really predictive. I
Oh, the stream is
believe
back up. Bless. We know the future. We can tell. But the stream's back up, so I'm just gonna watch. Oh wait, it's a YouTube stream. Okay.
It's about 30 seconds behind.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
So Acme's done a good job to get to here. They were like struggling early on, but they've given themselves a chance here. Still be really tough because it's the hardest part.
Destroyer takes
They've only
himself
got
out.
1 minute, but
You know, Pius did a great job of just like suffocating the cart right by that bottom ramp. They just were not able to move it for like a good 2 minutes.
this is an area where like you can't just sort of use brute force as well. You need to be coordinated and patient, and you just don't have that time on your side at this stage. Bias is definitely looking really strong. Look forward to seeing them, continue to play some of these tougher teams and prove themselves.
Yeah.
It seems like every week they're getting better and better.
Yeah, I get to play them on Saturday.
Nice. Look forward to that.
And I play you 2 hours before them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're doing
Back.
2 games in like 3 hours.
Alright.
It'll be an experience.
Yeah,
But
wait,
it's looking
first,
like
wait.
Acme's not gonna make checkpoint. It's just
Nah,
these
this
rockets
is-
are brutal.
this is
They're not able to
impossible.
get to them.
9, 8,
And they're trying, but destroyers obviously. A lot of these rocket players now, they're really good at being evasive. The
Yeah.
secret's out of the bag compared to the early days where there was only a couple of rocketeers doing this, and now it seems like most teams have a really sort of difficult to kill rocketeer, and destroyer is really accurate as well, so it makes it tough. Good job, Bias.
Yeah, great job by Bias. Acme put up a good fight. Removing one a lot.
Wow, so stun and destroyer just destroying, obviously 66 and 44. Come on. For the different scoreboards. Boiler alert.
Oh, we're on quarry. Okay.
Alright, okay. So stun up for the map for Bias, really well done. Destroyer really well, and the whole team just chipping in really well. And Acme, wow, they had a few players that really did really well there. It was just quite hard with that suffocating defense. It can just be need all 5 to break through a strong defense like that. And
Yeah.
if you're not on
It
the
feels
same
like you're just
page-
finding yourself against the cart and immediately dying
Yeah.
for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It can just be demoralizing.
Of course, as soon as it's finished, you're like, we should have done this, but pressure gets ramped up. You need all 5, just working in unison. Bolton and X626 going positive in that match. That's pretty crazy for someone going the full length and the other one holding the 32%. That's really, really impressive.
So that was a good game.
That was, yeah. It's fun to watch.
What do we have next? We have Waterway. I'm probably gonna stay pretty quiet for that. But do you guys have predictions?
I mean, after that performance, it feels like it's gonna go bias, but I'm gonna bias ACME.
That's fair. You got to balance out the bias.
Mm-hmm.
I'm certainly rooting for ACME to bring it back and send it to control point, but yeah, bias was just on point today. Looks like they're really sort of ready for this matchup and to continue sort of barnstorming through this league.
Yeah, they've definitely got some up-and-comers. Grabbed some great talent from some newer players. And I love seeing these newer teams do that. Definitely want ACME to crush it here, and it looks like they've got the lineup in to do it. I was playing with Whoopsie on Waterway just maybe an hour ago, and she was crushing it, so hopefully we'll see that again. And I'm sure we'll see Bricker with his shocks. He had a fantastic run with them last game I saw with him on. I think it was a highlight reel. So hopefully we'll see that again.
Going to be interesting to see Firehorse as a sniper primarily on this map. Bias, I can imagine they're just going to be really, really aggressive. So it'll be interesting to see whether Firehorse, can breathe and get set up properly.
Yeah.
With Bias sort of just rushing forward.
I think he uses stock, right?
Firehorse doesn't use a stock.
Oh, he
No,
doesn't?
I don't think he does.
I think he holds like his other hand underneath his hand to stabilize a little bit, and that's a shotgun, and then so he's quite good at being able to use that if you get close.
Yeah. I mean, I hope to
guys-
see a control point.
Do you
What?
want to see 2 points of view, or do you want the drone up along with 1 point of view?
Well, are they both on dead switches?
I can put both on dead switch.
I think that'd be pretty cool. You have
Okay.
both on dead switches.
I will do that. Yeah, I had the one
So,
running the on dead switch.
It'll be like a nightmare to commentate, but it will be interesting.
Right, and I did that at some point for control point today,
Mhm.
and I realized that it got to be a lot. So I
Well, I
ended up
think
going
with control point, you can
Yeah.
kind of just leave a spectator on the
I
button.
agree.
Whereas with Waterway, it's such a huge map.
Yeah, I ended up
I-
doing the two POVs for Waterway. earlier
Maybe-
today as well.
Put the bottom one on Firehorse since he's sniping, and he probably won't die a lot. That's what I'd recommend.
Okay.
Match starts in 3, 2, 1, go. Red takes B. First
Right, Bias gets their
elimination.
base. It's step one. A lot of the time you don't see happening on these streams.
It's the first step, but it's like, I don't know. I feel like it's like a
Red
30%
takes
like
C.
point where you're just gonna always miss your own button. But Bias being incredibly aggressive, they've already got B. Assume they'll be moving on to C shortly.
Bias using the cover well.
Oof, Whoopsie gets stun gets taken up by Whoopsie.
Blue takes B. Red takes B. A team scores in countered.
Oof.
Blue team scores.
Well, to
in
not fall in the water there.
countered.
Countdown. That was a countdown for ACME there.
Blue countered.
Yeah, no, this is definitely not as one-sided as you would have guessed on that payload.
See, and I feel
But
like we see that a
actually
lot
fun.
more recently. That, one team will absolutely dominate a payload map, and then we'll move to domination, and it's a completely different game. It's a different strategy, it's a different pace, and it takes different things into account. Different,
Countdown.
oh,
Oh, good
I
counter
don't know.
at B.
Teams can be fantastic with aggression, and it shows on a domination map instead of a payload. I think we see that a lot more recently.
Bringing like Bricker's shocks is like a real X factor to the equation, because everyone knows with shocks they can be hit or miss. Sometimes you can just have the most epic team wipe, and then other times you're sort of handicapped against the pistol snipers. So
If you can ever get a countdown with like shocks on a button, it's just you can just wipe everybody. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, because it's super predictable. You know that there's going to be.
It's a bit of a
popping
fly
that
trap
button.
because they have to go for that button.
Yep,
Oh, it looks like this would be a point for ACME because
for bias.
or something.
That was a team wipe. Team wipe for Bias.
Point for Bias.
That was all of ACME down. Bias got that first point, and that was about 2.5 minutes
Red
in.
takes B. Blue takes C. Red team
Wow.
scores 3.
Quick into ACME's base, but they do get the counter.
Surprised that there's still 2 at B. You would have thought they would have pushed forward by now.
They might be
Like
waiting
Mango
for
could
a
have pushed up.
third,
Blue takes
maybe,
B.
but it looks like ACME has slipped into their base.
Red
A
takes
good
A.
headshot by Mango.
Blue takes B.
Yeah, no, Bias just seems to be able to hold B, and as I said, that Acme gets B, of course.
So, I mean, and watching that, it's still kind of crazy to watch other people's perspectives because he was
Red
shooting
team
so far
scores
behind
the
where we
counter.
saw the player to be, but it was still registering the shots. So these servers are somewhat wonky to be dealing with.
Red
Did
takes
you
B.
put the on-dead spectators to 2 different people?
Blue takes B.
Yes, it evened out. I
It's
know,
even
it
out, yeah.
really-
Over the course of a match,
That's
it's slowly
funny.
like the kills have like converged onto one person, which is
Yep.
incredibly
I
funny.
keep trying to look for that and figure out when to switch it.
Blue
Okay.
takes A.
The streams
Yeah.
have been broken.
Red team scores.
Oh, and there's
Oh,
another
so you're not
bias
bias.
countdown.
Oh, great counter by Firehorse.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite a long countdown.
Yeah, based on Firehorse's KD, it looks like he's not able to get set up sniping wise. I mean, especially with like these hyper aggressive teams, it can be incredibly hard to snipe.
Does Firehorse usually snipe? Oh, Acme countdown. Oh, and a good counter there by Bias.
Red takes A.
Yeah, Firehorse will like 95% of the time he'll snipe and shotgun
Oh, okay.
all the way.
Red team scores 3.
It's gotta go to B.
Oh, good job, MTL.
Red team.
And that's
There we
2
go.
points in under 5 minutes
points.
for Bias. You know, it's basically it's not as one-sided as Launchpad looked, but it is definitely Bias is fairly dominant still.
Blue takes B.
Yeah, it seems like they just have the better like technical skill. They're just outgunning them,
Blue
Yeah.
takes C.
and they're just kind of whittling away.
Blue
It's
takes
basically a
A.
matter of time until they get that third point once Acme changes
Mhm.
what they're doing.
It's an unfortunate suicide there. He's just ready to go on a spree.
Scores 3.
Pawn
Well, that's
kills
the
for
risk
Bias.
and reward of doing the shocks. Is it takes so long to get them set up.
Oh,
Oh, and
wow.
Bias
There
takes
we
it
are.
3-0. I mean,
Bias.
all the
Mango on
bias is
fire,
positive.
sitting back pistol sniping.
Let me grab the
Oh.
scores. Oh, come on.
the stream crash.
Destroyer as well, absolutely killing it.
Oh yeah.
Whole
No,
team.
all the bias is positive. They had the manpower, and I mean, if you look at it, they're all like about 1,000 points up above Acme, just side by side.
Played quite methodical there as well with, you know, waiting at B together, having the pistol sniping, and then all sort of just moving forward in a wave. And it was really effective for them.
Yeah, I mean, good effort by Acme. Bias killed it. I mean, they'll probably be in Dasher tier next cycle. I mean, they should be, but how MMR works, they were front back at spinner for a bit.
So this was a sprint. I didn't look to see how close they were. Here, let me, you know, because I can. And because I probably would have done this earlier and did not, because I was slacking. So we see
Bias and Acme incredibly close. They were only
Yeah,
2 apart
oh,
from each other
they were
in the
right.
MMR.
Wow, that was incredibly close. And so, you know, I guess it works out that way with this MMR system. You know, it's a little obscure how it works and not everybody knows the ins and outs, but we like to think that it evens out. We saw a couple really close games today that were fun to watch and fantastic to see. But obviously we're going to have games like this where it's a bit of an uneven matchup.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, the win-loss bonus is such a huge like thing. I think it's basically more of a win-loss record if you look at it, with like only placement really decided by the MMR itself.
Okay, well, thanks for taking over commentating, because I know a lot of these people are probably sick of hearing my voice for hours on end. We got Mr. Soap in here along with Lazarus. We had Percent in for a little bit. So thank you all for hopping in. I think this is probably the last. Oh no, I think there is one more
No,
game
Fire
today.
versus Blitz in like
Yep.
30 minutes.
You are
We
correct.
can watch that,
Oh,
right?
where is it? No, I think you're right. I think it's
No,
just
there
on
is.
the website.
There is. I know for a fact there is a Fire versus Blitz.
There
I
is.
don't.
Yeah, it's in like an hour and a half. I think that was said like half an hour ago. So it's probably in an hour. If anybody's really curious, ask a captain and they will check the calendar for you. I'm sorry to all the captains. I just put that on. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody have a good night. Thanks again, Laz and Mr. Soap and Percent for hopping in and commentating.
Bye bye.